أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ربنا زدنا علما آمين يا رب العالمين. Welcome to lesson number 62 of our study of Balaghah. Today inshallah we are going to continue with Al-Haqiqa wal-Majaz. We already started with the exam of al-majaz, and we learned that there are two types of majaz al-lughwi and majaz al-aqli. So for majaz al-lughwi, we are going to study about majaz al-mursal and al-istiara. So today we begin exploring one of the very subtle beauties of the Arabic rhetoric, and that is the majaz al-mursal with the relationship of a sababiyya. You can say sababiyya, the cause-based metaphor. So we'll study that this how this concept reveals how Arabic expresses meaning through depth and indirectness, replacing what happened with what caused it. So it's a style that begins that just brings elegance, imagery, and emotional weight to the speech. And understanding this Majaz and Mursal, this opens a window into how the Arabs used language not just to inform but to move hearts and the minds. So let's begin with Majaz and Mursal, and there are many tools that we are going to study with that. We learned in Majaz and Mursal that it is a type of metaphor without the use of the analogy. And in Istiara, we learned that this is another type of the metaphor, however, with the use of an analogy. And what is analogy? It is the comparison between one thing with another, typically for the purpose of the clarification, for the purpose of the explanation. And in Majaz Mursal, inshallah, we are going to learn about different types of these, you can say, tools to learn about the Majaz Mursal. So, for Majaz Mursal, although there is no analogy, no comparison used to compare the real meaning of the word and its metaphoric meaning, there are other tools, or we can say parts of the speech that are used to tell the reader or the listener that the sentence is indeed or surely a metaphor. So, what are those connectors or indicators? In this Majaz al Mursal, because there is no analogy, we are going to learn about different types of tools, which are a sababiyya, al musabbabiyya, and then a juziyya, al kulliya, itibar ma kana, itibar ma yakunu, al mahalliya, al haliya. So we are going to learn about all these tools or connectors or indicators to learn about Majaz al-Mursal, that without any analogy, without any similarity, without any mushabiha between the real meaning of the word and the metaphorical meaning of the word. Why they are, how do we know that this is Majaz Mursal or this is a metaphor? So these are all the connectors and the indicators that tells us that there is, uh, you can say the word or the sentence is used in the metaphorical way. So let's start with a sababiyya. This is the cause based, you can say, because sabab, we know that sabab means the cause, so it is sababiyya, that means the cause based metaphor, and this occurs when you can say when the cause of an action or the quality is mentioned in place of the effect or the result, and we call the cause the sabab, and the actual effect being referred to as, you can say, the musabbab. So that is the action, or you can say the actual effect being referred as musabbab. So we call it musabbab, and we call the cause as the sabab. So the first example that we are going to see is Ghamarani Muhammadun biyadihi. This is Ghamarani Muhammadun biyadihi. Muhammad engulfed me with his hand. This is its literal translation. And here we know that the sabab is the hand. So what is it? At first glance, it may seem that like Muhammad physically wrapped his hands around me, but that's not the intended meaning. Like Amarani Muhammadan biyadihi. So this is that's not the intended meaning. Instead, this is a metaphor, and what's actually meant is the Ghamarani Muhammadun bi ni'matihi. This is Ghamarani Muhammadun bi ni'mati means Muhammad overwhelmed me with his generosity, or you can say the favor. So here the word hand or the yad is, we can say this is the cause, this is the sabab because the favors are often carried out, we can say using the hands. So the actual sabab or the effect, that is the musabab. Sabab is the cause, and that is hand here because favors are, as mentioned, are often carried out with the use of the hands. Here, the musabab or is you can say the favor or the kindness, the blessing. This is the musabab. So hand takes the meaning of the favor as it is known among the Arabs. And so in this case, the cause hand is mentioned instead of the effect, the favor, and this type of expression is called as, we are going to call it Mujaz and Mursal because we know that we are talking about Mujaz and Mursal and we are doing different types of tools, different types of indicators, or to learn that how these sentences are in the category of Mujaz and Mursal. So this is Mujaz Mursal alaqatuhu because the relationship, or you can say here the connector is as-sababiyya. So Mujaz and Mursal alaqatuhu as-sababiyya. So Mujaz Mursal, its connector indicator is a sababiyya. So with the relationship of cause-based metaphor. So this is a very beautiful example to understand majaz al-mursal, whereas though we know that there is no analogy involved here. So there is a connector, there is an indicator, and here it is a sabab. Let's see the next example now. رَأَتِ الْمَاشِيَةُ الْغَيْثَ. Here the cattle were nourished by the rain, or the cattle grazed the rain. Radil Maashiyatul Aisa. So here the sabab is the rain. At face value, we know that this sounds like the cattle are eating rain, but that's not the point here. That's not the point here because we know that what's actually meant here is the Radil Maashiyatul Nabat. Nabata. Here the cattle graze the plants. The word rain is the cause because we know it is the sabab because rain leads to the growth of the plants. So this is the sabab, and that's the actual effect we are going to see here. The musabab is the plants because of the rain, because of that sabab, that here it is rain, we have the musabab, and that's the actual here actually here is the plants, and so the cattle were nourished by the plants. So again the cause is the sabab is the rain is mentioned instead of the effect, that is the musabab, and that here is the plants, like creating a vivid, like indirect and expressive form of the speech. Also, this is called as Mujaz Mursal alaqatuhu sababiyya because we are learning about the sabab that is used as a connector, that is used as an indicator. And this style enriches the language, allowing meaning to be expressed more elegantly by just hinting at what's meant. So rather than stating it directly. So it's we can say it's just hallmark of Arabic. You can say Arabic's rhetorical beauty. So this is today, inshallah, we are going to just conclude this session here, in which we learn about Mujaz al Mursal. And here the reason is the sabab, sababiya, as sababiya. We learn about as sababiya, that is the connector or indicator when there is no analogy used. We know that when there is analogy, it is isti'ara if we are learning about the Mujaz. But because we are learning about Mujaz al Mursal, and we know that there is no analogy, and there are different types of indicators that we are going to learn. Those are the connectors that will tell us that this is actually there is a metaphorical meaning, and these are the eight you can say connectors that we are going to learn. So Alhamdulillah, we are done with the first connector, as-sababiyya. Inshallah, I'm going to see you in the next session. Barakallahu li wa lakum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.